You got the moves? Show me your moves.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Michael Novak and welcome to Doctor Who Is My Life. Today it's time to review episode number 10 of the first series of the rebooted series entitled The Doctor Dances. Now, as is tradition on the Doctor Who Is My Life channel, we will start the review with a short recap. Continuing from the last episode, the Doctor, Rose, and Jack are pushed up against the corner with no escape when the Doctor suddenly yells at the empty child to return to his room. The strategy works and all the patients return to their hospital beds, and the empty child leaves Nancy. Afterwards, they all continue to go to the hospital room where the empty child was originally taken upon arrival to investigate. The Doctor soon realizes that he has just sent the child to his room, meaning that he will undoubtedly show up at any minute. Sure enough, Jamie shows up to everyone's horror, and the gang uses Jack's sonic blaster to escape. The remaining patients at the hospital, however, start chasing the group down to capture them. After a chase ensues, the Doctor ends up resonating concrete, while Captain Jack disappears and Rose tries to convince him to dance. Before they know it, the Doctor and Rose are transported to Jack's spaceship, and they head out to the crash site to check out Jack's space capsule. Meanwhile, Nancy goes to the crash site as well to find out what happened to her supposed little brother. At the crash site, she's quickly trapped by soldiers guarding the place and put in chains next to Jenkins, a young man that's also been infected by the plague-like virus and who is seconds away from evolving to be like the other patients. Nancy's scared for her life, knowing that if Jenkins touches her, she'll be infected as well. Outside of the barrack, the Doctor shows up alongside Rose and Captain Jack. The Doctor hears singing and follows the sound to find Nancy entrapped with the now transformed Jenkins. He lets her loose and the four of them head to the space capsule. An alarm is triggered as Jack opens the capsule. The alarm sets all the patients in the direction of the capsule. Jack tries to convince the Doctor that the capsule was empty. However, as we discover, the capsule wasn't empty. It was filled with millions of nanogenes ready to mend a whole civilization. The first thing the nanogenes encountered was Jamie. He had been killed by the space capsule, and so the nanogenes got to work. However, because of their lack of a human template, they mended Jamie by fusing him with the gas mask and bringing him back to life. Because of Jamie, however, the nanogenes thought they had figured out how a human being was supposed to look like, and so they went out to, quote-unquote, fix the rest of the world and mend them too. The first thing they found was the hospital, full of sick people, and so they mended them too. Meanwhile, all of the gas mask wearing soldiers have now appeared at the crash site alongside Jamie, who's still calling out for his mommy. We then discover that Nancy is in fact Jamie's mother and not his sister, and as she goes to hug him in order to apologize to him for lying about their relation, the nanogenes now recognize the same DNA, and therefore they modify their human template to accommodate for Nancy. The Doctor then fires the nanogenes at the remaining patients, and they all come back to life and lose the gas masks. Everyone is saved, except Jack. He's managed to catch the bomb that was supposed to fall on the crash site and has flown it into space to dispose of it. However, he can't dispose of it in any way, and so the bomb is going to rip the ship apart and kill him in the process. In the last minute, however, the Doctor and Rose fly up to the spaceship and save Jack. The episode ends with Rose, the Doctor, and Jack flying off in the TARDIS to find new adventures. Alright everybody, now that was a short recap of the episode. Now let's get into what I thought. My favorite scene in this episode is, for obvious reasons, the ending where the Doctor dances and saves everyone and yells out, "Just this once, everybody lives."
Everybody lives, Rose. Just this once, everybody lives!
Now my least favorite scene of this episode is the one where Nancy is caught for stealing at the house she's stealing food from. It's such a unnecessary and pointless scene, and I just feel like the episode would have been a lot better without it.
The food on this table
It's an awful lot of food, isn't it, Mr. Lloyd? A lot more than on anyone else's table. Half this street thinks your missus must be messing about with Mr. Haverstock, the butcher. But she's not, is she? You are.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about how amazing this episode is, but also about how large chunks of this episode are just space that need to be filled. So much of this episode is used as a penis measuring contest between the Doctor and Jack, and it's just so unnecessary. Like, why would the Doctor even be jealous of Jack in the first place? Seriously, just because he's handsome? I don't get it. I thought the Doctor was supposed to be this forgiving alien that chose a name for himself that defines helping people and saving people, and who's traveled among the stars and done things you couldn't even imagine, and he would be jealous of a 51st century time agent turned con man just because he's better looking? It doesn't add up.
Who has a sonic screwdriver? I do!
Lights.
Who looks at a screwdriver and thinks, ooh, this could be a little more sonic?
What, you never been bored?
There's got to be a light switch.
Never had a long night? Never had a lot of cabinets to put up? So where'd you pick this one up then?
Doctor.
Now let's talk a little bit about Nancy as a character and actually why she was redeemed in this episode. The first part of this two-parter, the first episode, The Empty Child, she's annoying all the way throughout. I feel like condescending and just rude. And in this episode, she's a little bit annoying when she's at the Lloyd house being caught stealing. And she's also a little bit annoying when she's trying to lecture the homeless kids about their safety and whatnot. But I feel like the moment she's redeemed is when she's sitting with Rose and fixing the barbed wire with the sonic screwdriver. And we sort of see this human element to Nancy. We see that she's just a woman who's scared of the bombs and scared of the war, just like everybody else. And obviously in the ending of the episode, when she's reconciled with her son and she gets emotional and she creates this wholesome scene with her son, it's beautiful. And so I'm really glad that the character was redeemed. And it just goes to show that Stephen Moffat is capable of writing episodes where no one gets hurt and where he actually develops a character from a one-dimensional character to a three-dimensional character. And it's amazing. Now, I feel like it's beginning to be a theme throughout these reviews, but let's talk about Christopher Eccleston and his portrayal in this episode. He's so amazing. I can understand why the Ninth Doctor is considered to be a large number of people's favorite Doctor, because wow, just wow. There are just so many moments in this episode that showcase how good of an actor Christopher Eccleston is and how big of a range he has as an actor, and it's just amazing and fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
Now let's talk a little bit about the comedic moments. There are a lot of them in this episode. There's a lot of quotable scenes, quotable moments in this episode. And I don't know, it just made me realize that Stephen Moffat is actually pretty all right at writing comedy.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Nobody here but us chickens.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Go to your room. Hey? Go to your room. I'm very, very angry. I am very, very cross. Go to your room!
Now it's time for the rating of this episode. I will give this episode 4 out of 5 TARDISes. And the reason why it's not getting 5 out of 5, even though it's a wholesome episode and a lot of people consider it to be their favorite because nobody dies, then I just feel like such a huge portion of this episode is used for shit talking and very little plot development. Not that much actually happens in this episode until the end. And so that's why I'm giving it 4 out of 5. Anyway, it's all food for thought. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tell me in the comment section what you thought of this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy this two-parter? What do you think about Stephen Moffat's writing? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys next week for a review of the episode Boomtown. That should be exciting. All right, take care, guys. Bye.